Welcome to Strip Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we are here for this week's Variety Hour.
Variety Hour,
yes,
where we talk about things that people tend to like. I have an homage to the restricted section because they said that they don't hate us anymore and we're not dead to them. They're just stalking us from afar. So as they start their channel now, look at that. Look at that. This is actually a recommendation from Sue. This is a it's a warm Miller Lite. She said this was the finest beer she had ever drinking. Cold amber crisp was how I believe she described it. Served lukewarm because that's how they do it in Europe.
In Europe, Missouri, where the restricted section is from.
That's refreshing. That's refreshing. That tastes
don't
like
make that noise. It makes me hot and bothered.
that tastes like freshman year of college. That's it. Carry on. What would you like to talk about in Variety Hour?
Miller Lite. What's your beer? What's your beer?
I don't want to discuss that on this channel.
Discuss that on the channel.
Am I drinking to taste beer, or am I drinking because...
What is your favorite beer?
I like Guinness. I like thicker beers. Again, am I drinking to drink beer, or am I drinking because I'm going to get hammered?
I don't care. You said Guinness. You've already lost credit with me.
I like Guinness. Guinness is okay. I like Blue Moon. And I will drink Bully on occasion. Boulevard. Kansas City, by the way. Boulevard Wheat's never a bad decision.
Never.
If I'm sitting at home and roommate says, you want to get hammered? We have Natural Light. It's in the fridge at all times. It's like in case of emergency, break glass.
Yeah.
It's there.
In case of emergency, break your own will. Drink Natural Light.
Variety Hour.
We've got some business to take care of.
We
first.
have plenty of business to take care of.
As you may or may not know, we honor all of our patrons here on the channel by action figure, right?
Immortalizing them on the set in an action figure
You
style.
will forever be on set. Now, I made a bit of an ass of myself with previously on Strip Cover Lit. In one of these Harry Potter videos, I said that if Amy ever becomes a patron, we'll have to get her Madame Trelawney because of the tea, right?
The tea.
Trelawney's big on tea. I think your mic's messed up there.
No, it's always just wonky. It's okay.
So, I made that offhanded remark after we recorded, but before we posted that video, Amy became a patron. So I was like, all right, let's get on the interwebs and figure out, pulled out my phone. It's the only type of interweb I have. I want you to know I'm authentic.
Adrian Classic.
So I Google Madame Trelawney action figure, thinking, of course, there's Harry Potter toys, right? Surely, if they have every character that has ever appeared in Star Wars in 3 different lines of Star Wars toys, surely there is a Madame Trelawney action figure. So I Google it, and guess what? There is a Madame Trelawney action figure. It happens to be made by Lego, and it's extremely rare. And this 1.5-inch figure is $99 on auction. So that's where they're starting the bidding.
We shit the bed with that one. But we have something we believe is even better.
Much better for me. So I got to thinking. Amy's Captain Canada, right? Captain fucking Canada. So the closest to Captain Canada that I know of, I can't remember his name, but he is in a team called Alpha Flight.
Okay.
And he's literally wearing a suit of white and red, the maple leaf. So I was like, Alpha Flight, probably not going to be an action figure.
Yeah.
I Googled it, no action figures of Alpha Flight. There's one of Sasquatch and there's one of Puck.
If I may interject, at which point Adrian says, Canada. And my reaction is, I'm going to hold my Miller Lite as I say this. My reaction is, Canada? About Bret Hart. He's a wrestler from Canada. And he's like a national icon.
Yeah.
I think so. Is wrestling big in Canada?
It has to be. The whole Hart Foundation is from there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, was Dean Malenko Canadian?
I don't know.
A lot of Canadian wrestlers, especially from the early 90s. You say there's a big movement that way now, right?
There are a lot of Canadian wrestlers right now wrestling in the WWE. But couldn't find Bret.
So, I went on my train of thought and I said, okay, Alpha Flight. The one thing that Alpha Flight is big for is that is the team Wolverine left to join the X-Men. Straight up left them. So I realized, wait a minute. Wolverine's my favorite comic book character. Wolverine is Canadian. Amy, you will forever be immortalized on the strip cover lit set by the classiest, most effeminate, maybe?
The most badass Canadian to ever grace the world.
I am sorry that we couldn't get you someone, daint.
You shouldn't have apologized that. That is the most badass Canadian ever.
That's Wolverine, man. That's Wolverine.
We have a Wolverine now,
yes.
And we're very excited about that.
Also, Silje joined the ranks of our patrons, and near and dear to my heart, one of two characters that I've fallen in love with from this series. I think this will go over well, not only with Silje, but with the entire, Dalton's entire crowd here.
Dalton's entire crowd?
On the booktube.
What?
Dalton's entire crowd on the booktube. Silje, you will be represented on set by Hermione Granger.
And he bought more pop vinyls, which is delightful.
So that's there. Also, joining the ranks of our patron, Miriam Fry, who has supported us very vocally from day one of finding our channel. And we decided to go with the OG as far as sexy badass is concerned.
I almost threw up a gang sign when you said OG. I'm kind of glad I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't as well.
Fair enough.
The OG, as far as sexy badass is concerned, you will probably not go to a nerd's bedroom this side of anywhere and not find some type of representation of
this side of Dagobah.
Princess Leia. That's inter-universal badass, right? That's inter-universal sexy.
I hope we did well in this one.
Princess Leia. I think so. I don't think you can argue with Wolverine, Hermione, or Princess Leia.
On a bigger note to that, thank you guys very much. That's incredible to us. That means the world to us.
Here's the thing. I hope I'm not out. Here we go.
There you're good. You're
good. Every time Strip Cover Lit passes a 1,000-hour watch mark, I make a big deal out of it.
Yes.
And that seems like an ego play. And to an extent it is, right? It is an ego play that our channel has been watched to that extent. But the reason it is an ego play for me is the fact that each of those 1,000-hour marks is a hallmark for which we have discussed literature.
Yes.
Even these variety hours, we often touch on literary matters. We often make literary references. So, over 3,000 hours now, we have had conversations with people, with each other, and people have responded to us with these discussions of literature, right? So, a bit it is an ego play, but more direct to the point, anytime we pick up a patron, that's someone saying, not only do I enjoy what you're doing, I enjoy it to this extent, right?
Absolutely.
And that is not just an ego play, that is confirmation that what we are doing is contributing, right?
Yeah.
That you and I, and everyone watching, is having an actual discussion about literature. And like I believe it was Tolstoy said, literature is to increase empathy in the human race, right? Okay. So the fact that for 3,000 hours now, over 3,000 hours, we have contributed to this further involvement in humanity, right? That means a lot to me. That means a whole lot to me.
It's incredibly humbling to know that people actually really care and watch this. When we started this channel, we wholeheartedly expected like us to watch it, and the occasional family member who felt bad for us.
And here's the irony: my mom still doesn't even know what the channel's called.
That's beautiful. But it's badass to wake up every morning after dropping a video and read the comments and see all the people who watched it, who enjoyed it. And even better, a week later when people are dropping response videos and talking about books that we've recommended, it means the world. It does.
It really does. That is confirmation that what we're doing is appreciated. Fair enough.
A little housekeeping about tags, because we always try to talk about tags, and you usually say a little housekeeping, so it felt right. Monse in the Monse Hates Cheese tag. We had a lot of fun with that, and she did respond to us in a big flashing banner that says "Strip Cover Lit Hates Me." Loved it.
She dropped a lot of fucks.
She started the video rapping.
She dropped a lot of fucks also in her comment sections.
Yes.
She's dropped a lot of fucks on Twitter. Monse, what are you doing?
I'm okay with it. But she started out the video rapping, which is delightful. And then she goes on to just randomly speak French and pull at my heartstrings. And for some reason you say this is a strip cover lit thing. It isn't. This is a me thing, pushing the French language.
Carry on.
I'll carry on with you. So that was absolutely delightful. Loved it. Was not aware that you spoke French. Votre français est magnifique. Je ne savais pas que vous avez parlé la langue. Mwah. You don't get that one because you chose German as your language.
Du bist ein frecher Bube.
German is awful as a language.
Du bist ein frecher Bube.
And I know a lot of our viewers speak German as their native language.
It's a harsh language.
Every time I try to speak it, I think I sound like a jackass.
I had that experience. Look, have I told my experience with why I took a year of French in college on the channel yet?
No, let me preface with I haven't spoke French in 5 years. So if you don't speak French, my sex appeal just went through the roof. If you do speak French, I apologize in advance. I hope that was right. But carry on.
So very late in the game, I switched from being an education major to being a literature major.
Correct.
I decided I can't do this. Education is not for me at this point.
Made the same mistake.
Right. So, this was very late in the game. This was very late in the game. And you have to graduate with a lit degree, 4 semesters of foreign language.
Yes.
In high school, I took German my freshman year. I took college German 1 my sophomore year, college German 2 my junior year, and college German 3 my senior year, right?
Okay.
So I had 3 years, but not that 4th year. So here was the quandary. Do I jump into college German 4?
Oh.
Well, first off, are these credits still active?
Okay.
And I thought, this was 8 years after I graduated. I thought that foreign language only lasted for 5 years.
Okay.
That was the consensus in the through 3 professors, right? We talked to 3 professors, and it was, it's 5 years, bud. 5 years. You didn't finish your degree, it's expired. So I thought, but it may have played if I took college German 4, right? They thought maybe we can get you in there. So Danaher and I actually were sweating this out. So I said, look, Danaher, I am not going to be able to jump into college German 4 and survive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not.
Yeah, that's... Woo.
I said, look, I'll be here an extra year and a half taking French because I can't do it. I can't do it. And if I jump into college, to German 1, I'm not going to be there, right? So I said, okay, we'll put you in French 1. So here I am, thinking at 26 that I'm going to be in college for another year and a half, right? Figuring out what I'm going to do for that year and a half. And I'm sweating it out. So I take French, I get in the classroom, and I'm looking, I know bits of German, right? Like, enough German has stayed with me that I could speak the language, I could hear the language. I could not speak it, right? But I could read it as well if it were there. I'm sitting in these French classes, in this French class, day 1. I don't know what the hell this is. This is ridiculous. Where are you people getting these sounds from, right? Because these are all people who took French through high school.
Yeah.
And first day, the professor's not speaking anything but French. So I'm just sitting here, oh, this is awful. I'm going to be here more than a year and a half. So push comes to shove, I end up doing all right in the class. Into the semester comes, well, those German credits were cool. So I got my degree with College German 1, 2, and 3 and College French 1.
I had similar circumstance when I switched from English major to Lit major, and they're like, oh, by the way, learn a foreign language.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit. I took 3 years of French in high school.
French or college French?
I'm from a very small town.
Okay.
It was French. 3 years of French in high school from a native speaker who became a very close friend afterwards. Still hang out with her occasionally to this day.
She felt sorry for you.
I know. But I think I was sitting with Danaher as well, because she became my advisor when I switched to a Lit major.
Danaher was a bulldog.
She was a bulldog.
I guarantee you that I graduated because Danaher put that through.
So, Danaher.
The degree is finished, you can't do anything about it.
And we're sitting around hashing it out, and she's like, well, you need, 4 semesters of French. And I'm like, well, I have, 3 years of French. She's like, well, would you like to go ahead and test, and, maybe we can get you in an advanced level French and get you through? I'm like, no, put me in French 1. It's like, that's going to be like more time here. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do all that work. Put me in French 1. I'll start from the beginning. So then she comes up with the idea. She's like, actually, if you finish out this year with French 1 and 2, and then just move to France for a while, we'll get you the credits. And I'm like, all right. Another year at Mo West, live in France for a semester, I'll just go to France. So that's how I ended up doing that. My laziness ended up costing me like $10,000 in loans.
But come on, that's a life experience.
It was life experience. It was a wonderful life experience. I'm glad I did it. Would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But I have tinkered with the German language. You kind of develop a little bit of an accent when you're speaking it. I notice it when I go back and forth from French to English, you sound different. I sound like a jackass when I try to speak German. I really do.
I'm sure Marie Berg tell me that Miriam tell me I was awful just then.
And I know toddler phrases, like I really just like want to walk into like a German bar and be like, "Wir essen einen Apfelsaft." Yeah. That is my German. And I just insulted the rest of the people I have not insulted yet.
Yeah, we're on a roll lately.
We are on a roll. Speaking of other countries, other things, Brexit.
Right.
That's a thing right now.
Yeah, I'm an ignorant American.
God, me too. I'm drinking Miller Lite at 3:30 in the morning talking to you.
Go on.
I don't quite grasp the situation, but it's a big deal. I feel so stupid right now. The United Kingdom has selected to leave the European Union.
Okay.
I don't understand how that's going to affect. I don't think anyone understands how that's going to affect the United Kingdom financially.
I think long term it will be less of. I think that this is a much more nuanced argument than I think a lot of people are giving it credit for, and I think that the leftist leaning are giving it less credit as an argument than the right leaning, and those are American terms. I don't know if that's flipped in
I don't know.
in the United Kingdom.
I don't know. The way I see it is, as we are looking in the United States of going into an election where either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump is more than likely going to be our next president, the United Kingdom said, hey, let's get on that bandwagon.
And do some wacky things.
Let's do some wacky things. The little town that I live in now, St. Joseph, Missouri, once every 10 years or so, there's different areas of St. Joseph, and one area is called the South End, South Side, whatever you want to call it. It is a very pride-stricken area.
Prideful area.
Prideful. They are very prideful that they're from the South End. They have a South Side Pride Festival, which it just blows my mind how proud these people are of being South Enders. However, they tend to be of a lower socioeconomic class, that general area of people. and North End St. Joseph looks down on South End St. Joseph. It's just the way it is. Once every 10 years, the newspaper will come out with an article because someone in Southside is going to secede from St. Joseph, and they're going to be their own town. They're going to be Southside, Missouri.
Southside St. Joe?
No, Southside, Missouri.
What?
You're not familiar with this?
I don't remember that nomenclature being employed.
No, about once every 10 years, they say we're going to become our own city.
Yeah.
We're going to cut ourselves from St. Joseph and just going to be called Southside.
Right.
And it's always like...
Oh, so they will be Southside, comma, Missouri.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were saying they were trying to classify themselves as Southern Missouri.
No.
Okay.
They were going to be Southside, Missouri. That was the name of the city will be Southside.
Okay.
And it seems to be after a few weeks where everybody's like, yeah, let's do this. It's going to be the greatest thing ever.
I take issue with your accent there.
No. I lived in the South End. I'm allowed to say that. I still live in the South End. I'm allowed to do that. It comes to terms of, oh shit, if we do this, we have no fire department. If we do this, we have no water, no sewer, because that's no police. We're dead in the water. And then it just kind of blows over. And that's kind of the only way I can fathom this whole UK thing right now. That's like my little world of how I can think it's going to be.
There is a very interesting debate on YouTube between Thunderfoot and Sargon of Akkad. Now, Sargon gets the better of the argument. Thunderfoot is not a particularly skilled orator in the live setting. He's got videos that destroy things, and he does that masterfully. But as far as oration goes, Sargon ate him alive. There are a lot of things that play into this. One of the things that Sargon brought up is the issue of immigration.
Yes.
And when you were part of a union, I guess that there are things that you just have to accept, right?
Yes.
And one of the points that he brought up is when you take in unskilled labor, it's bad for poor people because it floods the market.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to protect poor people, you have to start with your own poor people. So the United Kingdom letting in immigration of a lower economic class is a hell on the poor people already living in the country.
Okay.
So that is a very strong point for the exit.
Okay.
Right? There are issues of safety which have been brought up. Right? So there are points to this that is not just Donald Trump saying, let's build a wall between us and Mexico.
Correct. And, you know, it's really hard to one day wake up and say, oh, well, apparently I need to pay attention to the politics of the United Kingdom when you have no experience with it whatsoever.
Right.
I think, yeah, there's probably good points on both sides. I'd love to hear some arguments from people who do live in the United Kingdom, what you think about this.
Look,
that
in the
would be
perfect
very
world,
interesting.
it'd be nice for them to stay in the Union, right? To have open borders with Europe, things
You would
like that.
assume, yes.
But this is not the perfect world, unfortunately. And right now, there are some very big problems in the world. And these are things that have to be dealt with, and you have to deal with them while they're happening. You can't look back on them. You have to deal with things as they are happening.
And, you know, it's one of those things, time will tell what's going to come from this. I still keep my offer open that I made through Twitter. If anyone is in need of an American husband, I am taking applications. Please direct them directly to Twitter. The United States is a fine country. Once you get here, we'll probably move to Canada because of that.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a very nuanced argument that is not being given credit by a lot of people that want to throw this off as just being racist or elitist.
Okay.
Right. There's a lot of nuance there that's just not. Watch the Sargon of Akkad and Thunderfoot exchange. I think it's very fruitful, and Sargon does a great job.
Indeed.
Okay.
So this was Variety Hour. We had a lot of fun. Drank some beer, smoked some cigars, introduced some fine patrons. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to say. I think Brexit was our big point, and I would love, really, if someone could educate us a little bit further in just the general going-ons of what we're looking at here.
Yeah, there was another thing Sargon said, but I can't remember it right now, for whatever reason.
Fair enough. But if you do like this kind of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We do Variety Hour as often as we can. People seem to really enjoy sitting down having a conversation with us. But make sure you give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and definitely follow us on social media.
We are on Twitter at StripCover. We are on Facebook at StripCoverLit. We are on Instagram and Instagram. Instead of gram. Instagram? Come on, Dalton.
Instagram.
Instagram.
Strip cover lit.
Instant gram. Instant gram of noodles.